I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be love, freedom, and letting go. There's a great quote I've probably shared a couple of times because it's so powerful that I found a while back, and it basically goes like this. You must love in such a way that the other person feels free. And what's interesting is that both men and women do this in relationship where they feel like they're lacking something inside of themselves, and so they feel like they got to chase, they got to pursue, because they feel like they got to possess the other person. If I just get this other person to love me or be in my life or have sex with me, whatever it happens to be, then I'll be happy, then I'll be whole, then I'll be complete. I got an email here from a woman who has gone through a breakup, and she's really struggling with it, but let's look. She says, Dear Coach Corey, it's past a month now since my boyfriend refuses to answer my phone calls and my emails and even refuses to face me. Our relationship began 2 years ago in a fantastic way. He went away this summer to Spain for training, and then he came back and we spent 3 wonderful days together. But here's the kicker. Here's what she says. She says, in spite of some changes that I've noticed. But she doesn't elaborate on what these particular changes happen to be, but she noticed that he's acting different. And so you just never know what happened. Maybe he met somebody when he was away. Maybe he's been hooking up with other women all along, and maybe he got serious with somebody else. He didn't have the balls to tell you. I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities of what's going on. And then she says, the 4th day after he came back, we had a silly discussion, and suddenly he ended the call, and he never contacted me or answered me. And then she says, I'm really lost. Why? Well, at the end of the day, we don't really know why because you haven't shared, but you did say that he's acted different. And at the end of the day, a lot of people do this, men and women both do this, is that we tend to project what we feel about the other person. We project our level of attraction for them onto them, and we just assume that the other person feels this way. And even though we see the little red flags going off, I would say most of us, we tend to be pretty good at self-bullshitting ourselves. And so we see these flags like, you know something's different because you look at his behavior and it's changed. Something is different, but you didn't elaborate on it. But because you love him and you care about him and you're just probably glad he's back because you hadn't seen him in a few weeks, so that builds a sexual anticipation, at least on your part. And then you get back, he's a little different, kind of a little distant. And then, I mean, who knows? Maybe, like I said, maybe you said you had a silly discussion. Was it you had an argument? I mean, I don't know. It's like maybe if you mistreated him or you said something wrong, then obviously you should apologize and say, I'd love to talk this out and see what's wrong, but I can't believe after 2 years you just cut me off and not talk to me for a month. So I'd love to talk to you and find out what's up. And if not, hey, it's been great. Thanks for the memories. But the thing is that somebody doesn't just up and leave if things are really great. But then again, maybe he was never really putting the best foot forward on his part. Because you always got to look what the other person does. You can't look at so much what they say. Because I mean, I got friends that I know, guys used to work for me years ago, and they're always single, meaning like they never have a girlfriend. It never lasts more than a month. Like dating somebody for several years, that doesn't happen in their world. They may go 6 months if they're lucky, and it's like they're always single, and they're always looking for the next thing, and as soon as they get into a relationship, they're not really happy in it. And sometimes they'll date. You know, I've got a guy that he's successful and he just doesn't have the fucking balls to be honest. And so he'll date 2 or 3 different women. And all 3 of these girls think that they're being exclusive with him. And he just does that because he doesn't want to make any waves. He doesn't want to cause any problems. He doesn't want any drama. Instead of just being honest and telling them that he's dating other people and that he's not looking for a relationship yet, he doesn't have the balls to say that because he's afraid he's going to lose the casual, steady sex that he has with them, which is what he likes. And he's constantly finding new ones, but that's just kind of the way he is. And when he meets somebody he really likes and he's really into, he doesn't have the balls to go for. Because deep down, because the way he uses women and the way he treats them, and then just casually tosses them aside, when he finds somebody better that he likes, he I believe, looks at himself internally and thinks, when they get to know the real me, they're just going to take off, because that's how he treats everybody else. And so he, in a way, assumes he's the same way. But the problem is he doesn't want to do the work on himself. He doesn't want to learn the communication skills or the courtship skills or other skills and focus on other areas of his life that he's unhappy in. And I was out with a friend recently, and we were having this conversation. He'd had a rough day, or actually really a rough couple of weeks, and he's just having a hard time getting through things because there's some traumatic things going on in his life. One relationship's ending that he's been in for a long period of time, and so it's an awkward period. Like when one relationship ends and a new one begins, it's like you got to learn to let it go. I mean, at the end of the day, it takes two in a relationship, and so if your boyfriend's not reaching out, he's not making the effort. I mean, obviously he wasn't happy, and you can't tell me that deep down you didn't know that obviously that you were 100% happy. You can't tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 that your relationship was a 10. It's obviously things were probably going downhill for a while, or maybe he was never really that into you. Maybe he was one of those guys that's just lying to you, and you thought he was your boyfriend or being exclusive, or you met somebody else, or it really wasn't there. I mean, a lot of people settle. That's one of the things that I did that when I was younger. I have a lot of friends that did that. They got married, they had wives, they raised kids, and after 10, 12 years, they realized, I just can't fucking do this anymore. I'm totally lying to myself. You have to be yourself, and you got to love another person in a way in order that they feel free, and that's part of the risk. When you put yourself out there and you put your heart out there and you love somebody else, or you want someone else, they may not want you back. You can't force them to want you. You can't force them to want to be with you. You never should try to keep somebody who doesn't want to keep you. And so you just learn just to let go and then move on. And I found in my life, I was discussing this with a good friend of mine last night, when you go through life, it's like when you're younger and you don't have a lot of experience in relationships because you just haven't been in that many, but when you're older and you got a perspective and you've been through lots of long-term relationships over the course of several decades of your life, you realize, like, when you're younger and you don't have a lot of experience, you think, oh, I'll never find anybody better. But as you get older, it's like you keep finding somebody else, and as you grow and you become a better person, you're able to attract an even better quality person from the opposite sex to have a relationship. And so the quality of your relationships gets better and better over time. And what you realize is that there's people that come along in your life. I mean, think about it this way. I say this a lot, but it's how often you meet a new best friend. How often do you meet somebody that you really like hanging out with just because they're your best buddy, your best friend, and you can be yourself with them and they accept you and you accept them? It's the same thing with lovers. I mean, how often do you meet somebody that you just really fucking connect with and you really want to hang out with and you really want to be with them long term or spend a lot of time with them? It's something to think about. So if you have a question you want to ask me, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab, which will be on the left-hand side of your screen. Send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max, and just give me several days to get back to you with a response. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. You can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab, which will be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. If you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook, on my website, underneath the email sign-up box, is a box that has a link that will take you right to the download page once you get there. If you don't have a Kindle device already, on the right-hand side, there's a button you can click to download one of their free e-reader apps for your smartphone, tablet device, or your computer. It only takes a matter of seconds to download and install the app and complete the purchase of my book. And if you appreciate the value of the information I offer in these video newsletters and articles, you can go to my website, and on the Wibiya toolbar, which will be at the bottom of your screen on any page, click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information. And I will talk to you soon.